let's say I give you a team that is 22-6. They're 0-5 in Q1 games. They have a net non-con strength of schedule of 68. So not great, but not terrible. And they're hovering somewhere between 40 and 50 in the net. Is that a tournament team? And I give you the scenario because I think this is a still in play, real possible scenario for Gonzaga. And I think that the metrics and the teams that Gonzaga has played in the non-conference have done them no favors, have not helped them in any sort of way. And those teams, even though Gonzaga has handled their business and done what they were supposed to do, might actually cost Gonzaga a potential at-large if they do not win the conference tournament in Vegas. In the last 3 years, and this is where I bring this up. So Gonzaga right now is 0-3 against Q1 opponents. They do have 2 more. Well, they potentially have 4 more right now. San Diego State on Friday, then they have Kentucky, USF, and St. Mary's on the road. So there are still a few more chances for them. But this is where I did a little bit of I was doing some research, and this is the number I think that is critical for Gonzaga when it comes to the importance of the conference tournament this year and the remaining Q1s. In the last 3 years, every at-large selection has had at least one Q1 victory. Every last one. And of the 108 at-large selections in those 3 years, all but 3 had at least 2 Q1 victories. So, and those 3, there was one last year that was a NC State, who was 23-11. They were 1-6 in Q1 games. They were 45 in the net. In 21, there were 2 of those teams. One of them was a 23-4 Drake team. They were 1-2 against Q1 opponents, 45 in the net. The other one, Syracuse at 16-9. They were 1-7 against Q1 opponents, and they were 40 in the net. Gonzaga is currently 45 in the net. And really, realistically, they do have, again, not counting the remaining 2 non-conference games that Gonzaga has, which are both Q1 opportunities. In WCC play, no one, as per the usual, no one but St. Mary's, USF, and Santa Clara will help them go up in these ratings, because the rest of the league has not done their part and is going to likely drag everyone else down. And metrically, let's take all of that aside, at least for the moment, and also look at this, that this Gonzaga team has actually looked mortal for the first time in a long time. And I've discussed it, many others have discussed how thin this team is, especially with some of the injuries that they've picked up over the last few months and in the last couple weeks. We know that they also really haven't had someone really step up in a big way consistently. Like Ryan Emmert's kind of been that guy. Sometimes it's been Nolan Hickman, but then he'll disappear for a half. It has, like, Anton Watson can't be relied completely upon to do all of that late in games because he's not the primary ball handler. So you can't put that on Dusty Stromer because he's a freshman. So there's a lot of things that I think that don't help Gonzaga when it comes to this scenario. They have looked vulnerable. The metrics are not helping them. The teams they have beaten are not helping them. Their their last few remaining chances, like, so San Diego State is at 29 right now, as an example, and they're hosting. Weird note, it's like they would be a Q1 right now, but if Gonzaga beats them, they likely would not be a Q1 anymore. So I think this presents a really interesting, unique challenge for Gonzaga going into WCC play, because this might be the first year since, I think it's 2011, where Gonzaga getting into the NCAA tournament is conditional, where for the last decade, it has been an automatic. It is now conditional.